How to stop overthinking. This has been the biggest problem in my entire life, I think. Having thoughts in my head and just trying to work through them constantly, and every single decision, every even tiny little decision, like, do I want chocolate milk or do I want regular milk? You know, every little decision, overthinking in my head, thinking about the positives and the negatives, the pros and the cons, thinking about what this person would think of me, uh, whether it's silly for me to do this or that. What if I embarrass myself? Oh, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I? It's just a constant bombardment of just overthinking, right? Just your thoughts, just holding you back, and that has been my life. That has been one of the biggest struggles for me, at least, and I think that it's a huge problem for creatives. It's a huge problem for entrepreneurs to just be in their head, facing blocks, obstacles, and to really, really overcome them. I think it boils down to three principles. Three principles that I've experienced in my life that have helped me at least a little bit to overcome the overthinking. It's not scientific at all. It's just what I have found to work. And so the first principle is to be aware of your own values and beliefs and stick to them no matter what. So that might seem very obvious, right? But how many people actually live up to it? Think about yourself. Do you actually live up to that to that belief? Like, do you actually live up to that statement? Do you follow your beliefs? Do you follow your values? Do you stay true to them no matter what? Probably not. You probably cater a little bit to the people around you. You probably try to, please other people. You don't want to seem like, a misfit. You don't want to seem disagreeable. You don't want to seem like the person that people don't want to really talk to because they're always like disagreeing, right? You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that woman that just is difficult to be around because you want to just conform. You just want to be like everyone else. I get it. And so this is what I'm saying. You want to be aware of your own values, right? And most of our values are shaped by the people around us, by the way we were raised, yada, yada, yada. And you need to actually come to terms with them because I feel like we believe things and we think things without actually asking ourselves, why do we believe those things? And if we actually do believe them. So the more you question truly how much you believe something, like whether something's actually legit or if it's just BS, right? Like how much truth is there in the beliefs that you have? How much truth is there in, what you value, like whenever you're in a conversation with somebody, do you nod along to what they're saying because you actually share the same values with them, or do you just nod along just to like show them that you agree even if you don't? And so I think this is one of the biggest reasons why we're always in our own heads overthinking things. It's because we aren't aware of what we truly believe and what we truly value. And the only way you can do this is by doing an audit on your life and actively through conversations with other people, through your writing, through your creation. You need to start asking yourself, okay, am I acting in alignment with what I believe here? Or what beliefs am I bringing into question here when I do this thing, when I make this decision? What beliefs am I challenging? What values am I questioning? And the more you ask yourself these why questions, the more you actually test yourself with these questions, the more you realize that, oh, some of the values I have aren't my values. I actually don't agree with these. Some of these beliefs are actually kind of sketchy. I don't really necessarily resonate with them. And as a result of doing this audit, you start to pick up on and removing these values. Like you need to start accepting the fact that if you don't value something, then forget it. Forget about that value. Like you don't need to believe that thing anymore. Just say goodbye to it. Even if everyone else in your friend group believes it, if you don't, then you don't need to believe it. You just need to grow the balls to just like not conform. And so that's the biggest first step to stop overthinking is to actually realize that some values aren't your own, and you need to actually create your own and become aware of your own values and start living the true values that you believe in, right? And the next principle is to just say what comes to mind. So once you've grown comfortable with your own values and your beliefs, then you don't need to conform to anybody else. You don't need to please anybody else. You don't need to impress anybody else. You have your own values. You are your own person now. So you don't need to actually say things to make someone else view you in a certain way. Now you can just speak your mind. And this is where the magic comes in. Whenever you're in conversation with somebody, maybe it's someone famous, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's someone that you actually care their opinion about you, you overthink what you're gonna say. You overthink so much about the words that you're gonna say and the way that you're gonna say it, the inflection, what words you decide to use. You don't want to say the wrong thing in the wrong way. You don't want to offend them. Whatever it is, right? You're overthinking. But whenever you have a clear idea of your values and your beliefs, you can just say what's on your mind because you're in such close alignment with your beliefs that this is authentically what you believe. And when you say those things, when you speak in this way, even if the person that you're speaking to doesn't necessarily agree, they just can't help but have respect for you, right? Because you're being authentic, you're speaking your mind, you're actually saying how you feel. And most people in this world do not do that. And it's such a left turn, right? Whenever someone actually does. But if you're that person, if you're that guy or that girl that is able to speak their mind, that speaks their mind no matter what, that stays true to their values no matter what, regardless of whether the person agrees, the person that they're interacting with agrees with them or not, then that garners a lot of respect. And with this comes a lot of strength, inner strength within you, right? And this is one of the biggest ways to combat against overthinking, because the moment you just speak what's on your mind, when you say what you want to say, because it aligns with your values, you're being honest and authentic, and people just come to know you for that. People understand that, oh, this person's really honest. This person is, whatever comes out of this person's mouth is truly what they believe. And that level of trust that they start to build for you is really, really valuable. It's really almost inspiring because most of the world doesn't have that. And then the final principle that I'll leave you with is to always follow your gut. To always listen to your gut. And you don't need, this really specifically comes down to decisions, right? When you're making decisions, when you're choosing to make a decision to go on a path to eat chocolate milk or regular milk, right? Regardless of how impactful the decision is on your life, regardless of how seemingly insignificant the decision seems to be on your life, just go with your gut, right? Because if you follow the first step and you have a clear idea of your true values and beliefs, and you always speak what you say, speak your mind and say what you think, then your gut will naturally align with that. So your gut will actually be aligned with your values and your beliefs, and what you say will start to influence your decision making. So when you actually make decisions based off your gut, then they are in alignment with who you are. And so you don't even have to think about whether a decision is good or not, because it is truly authentic to you. It is the best decision for you. And honestly, when it comes to decisions, there's no right or wrong answer, right? I think it really comes down to context. And whenever you're able to adopt this kind of aura of authenticity, of saying what you want to say, having clear values, then the decision making you make within that context is the best possible decision that you could have made, specifically you could have made. And overthinking is such a big amorphous thing, but it comes down to behaviors. It comes down to literally auditing your values, speaking your mind, and going with your gut when you're making decisions. That's literally it. And start small. You don't need to suddenly just start saying things out of pocket. You don't need to suddenly start destroying all your values and picking up new ones. No, start small. one value at a time, one conversation at a time, one decision at a time. You don't need to do them all at once. And the fact that you're thinking about how to overcome overthinking by overthinking is not going to work. You just need to break it down into simple, little, digestible tasks that you can easily do, and you'll make a lot more progress a lot more quickly. Goodbye.